So we're going to talk about RTI and do some definitions over on that. Oops. Okay, so there are tiers. Your first tier, level 1, universal, whole class. That's the instruction that my regular ed teachers are giving. You're probably doing some things to go over and help all of your students that will also help those students who are having difficulty. The next level, we call it levels at my school, but you'll also hear it referred to as tier, is strategic or small group, okay? You have pull-out groups, you're doing workshop, that's going to be small group work. If you have after-school tutoring, that's generally small group. If they're doing funky things with the after-school tutoring, which I've seen done in my district, and putting 15 kids in it, that's not a small group. Got to be about 6 or lower. Okay, intensive and individual. Different districts handle this differently, so I'm going to show what it looks like over at my particular school. We have level 1, it's positive learning environment, student-centered, and engaging practice. So we do PRIM. Anybody else use PRIM manuals? Yeah, some of you do. It's a manual, it's all numbered. You go and you figure out what the kid's having trouble in, a particular problem, and then it gives you a whole bunch of interventions that you can do to them. So we expect when a child is coming to us, now I'm blanking, and I'm sorry, it's because I got up at about 4 a.m. for the flight here. Can somebody else help me?
It's pre-referral.
Pre-referral intervention manual. Thank you. Saving me here. So it's, that could be helpful, but basically that you have some interventions that you as a classroom teacher use that go beyond calling up the office when a kid's being disruptive or throwing up your hands when the kid's not reading over on the pacing schedule. We have a positive reinforcement system that's class-wide, school-wide, differentiating the instruction, doing multiple modalities, presenting it both visually, me talking to you, giving images and other things to govern support, because we've got a large number of English language learners, right? You've got to give them pictures. And things like that. Won't bore you with the whole list. These look like things that are done maybe in your classroom or your schools. Yes, or we never do that with
What type
children.
of streams do you use as baseline data?
Baseline data. I'll go into more detail, but we have district-wide standards-based tests that are given 3 times before the state testing. And I'll be showing an example of that. Okay, level 2 is strategic. It's very specific after-school tutoring, not just homework club. We have a program called START that's over in Sacramento County that's run by Parks and Rec that's over in the schools after school. This is SES tutoring. I'm in a program improvement school. It's credentialed teachers working with kids. Okay. We follow up on the baseline. We do home visits, daily behavior contract, and SST meetings. Oh, that's the part that's missing from it. I must have flipped through it. How many people know what I mean when I say SST or CST, child study team or student study team? Okay, do I have anybody who doesn't know? Because those are the 2 terms that I've heard. I know there's got to be something else that's called out there. Those are meetings before kids are identified for special education. I got to attend a lot of those for my son. I also now facilitate the meetings over at my school for all the kids who get referred for those. And the idea is that when you're the teacher's at level 1, oops, right? And this isn't working, their step is to go over and send a referral for a student study team meeting. And then we meet, we look at what they're doing, and add more onto it. Add one of these things. We check and see, did the parents sign up for SES tutoring? Does the kid need a daily behavior contract? We do a lot of home visits over at my school site. Maybe we do a home visit, especially if the parent's not showing up to the SST meeting, make them feel We're not gonna bite. And then we have some volunteer tutors that will have them work. We'll do work with them and things like that. This is an intensive, and this varies from district to district. So what I put up here, that's like where the district makes decisions about how to implement. Am I right about that? Special ed people, how they implement it is very different. We continue the baseline assessments, keep doing the SST meetings. Our RSP teacher goes over and will start pulling out kids to the Learning Center at that point. Your RSP teacher, your resource specialist, may say that she doesn't want to take on that burden because it's not part of her contract or his contract. But ours is kind of that kind of person who likes doing it and came to our school in part to do that. So one-on-one tutoring with a teacher or with a volunteer. And then also we'll look at maybe a lot of times with the behavior problems of kids not responding, it's because we said, well, we did a half-day behavior contract. If the kid's got extreme ADHD, is unmedicated, they can't last that long. That's too long an interval for them to have perfect behavior to get the reward. So why don't we try for 15 minutes, and if they make 3 out of 5 of them, then they're doing good. So you look at things like that. Let's chop down the interval to something that they can achieve. Then we start kicking it out until they get to the half day and to the full day, and then weekly, hopefully. But if your behavior contract that you were trying on level 2 wasn't working, it doesn't mean that they necessarily that they won't respond to a behavior contract. Sometimes it does, but it could mean that you need to get your interval at something that they can achieve to start out with.